So I was reading about the most populated countries in the world, and honestly, I didn't realize how big some of these populations are.
Right? It's pretty wild. And the one thing that really surprised me was how India has now tied with China in population. I mean, I knew they were close, but I didn't realize it happened already.
Yeah, that's actually huge. They're both sitting at 1.4 billion people now. It's kind of crazy to think about. Two countries with populations that massive. Who would have thought India would catch up so fast?
Surprising, right? And it's not just the numbers, it's the shift in global influence. I mean, China's been at the top for so long, and now India is right there with them. It's definitely a game changer.
For sure. It's going to be interesting to see what that means for both countries moving forward. But hey, let's start with the fifth most populated country, Pakistan. What's going on there?
So Pakistan has over 240 million people. That's a huge population already, right? Imagine the logistics of managing that many people.
Right. And even though it's a large country, Pakistan still faces big challenges like poverty and limited access to healthcare. But with such a young population, they might have a lot of untapped potential.
Exactly. If they can invest in their workforce, there's a lot of room for growth.
Okay, let's move on to number 4, Indonesia.
Yes, 275 million people in Indonesia. What blows my mind is how it's spread across thousands of islands. How do you even begin to manage all that?
I know, it's crazy. And they're facing environmental issues like deforestation and natural disasters. But with their growing economy and rising tech industry, there's still a lot of optimism for the future.
Absolutely, it's all about leveraging that growth and finding sustainable ways to manage the population.
All right, next up, the US?
Yep, the US comes in at 332 million people. They've got a lot of diversity, but managing that many people with such varied needs is a challenge.
That's true. There's a lot of political division and social inequality to deal with. But at the same time, the US remains a leader in tech and innovation. If they can solve those internal issues, the future could be pretty exciting.
Definitely. Innovation could be the key to making all those challenges manageable.
But India's young workforce is definitely one of their biggest strengths. I didn't expect it to happen this quickly. India has been growing at such a fast pace, and now here they are, neck and neck with China. Yeah, I think it's such a surprise. They've officially tied with China, which is just mind-blowing. Now let's talk about India, 1.4 billion people.
But the future of India is looking bright, especially with its growing tech and service industries. Totally. They've got a huge advantage with their population being so young, but there are still challenges like overcrowding, pollution, and poverty.
It's definitely exciting to think about how they'll handle everything. And now China, 1.4 billion people. What do you think the future holds for them now that they're tied?
Well, China has been leading in manufacturing and tech for so long, but they face their own set of challenges, like air pollution, an aging population, and shifting policies. If they can navigate those, I think they'll continue to be a global leader.
Yeah, their focus on innovation, especially with green energy and new technologies, will play a huge role in their future. It'll be interesting to see how they and India grow and evolve now that they're essentially on equal footing.
Definitely.
So what do all these countries have in common?
They all face population growth challenges. Whether it's in terms of healthcare, jobs, or housing, managing such large populations is tough. But each of them also has immense potential if they can focus on sustainable growth and innovation.
Exactly. It's going to be fascinating to see how these countries adapt in the next few decades, especially with such young populations. It's not just about the numbers, it's about how they manage the future.
Agreed. And now, with India and China tied, it's a whole new dynamic to consider in global influence. The future is looking pretty exciting. Well, the future looks very interesting. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what you think about India tying with China. Who's going to pull ahead in the future?
And don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll see you next time with more fascinating discussions.
Stay curious, everyone.
See you soon.